audiobook narrator, and today, instead of reading you a story, I'm going to tell you one. You know how there are certain objects in our lives that have a full-blown significance that no one would ever know about? This is one of them for me. To most people, a hunk of leather. To a middle infielder, a highly desirable hunk of leather. It's a Wilson A2000 infielder's glove. The kind that you bend open, shape your own way, and get on the ground. It's not very big for catching fly balls, but it's great for scooping up balls and starting double plays. But that's not the real story. The real story is that when I was 47 or 48, I had a 7-year-old son who was in Little League. And he gave it his best. And he played pretty well. And he put on the uniform and he had a great time. But he didn't take to it, and that was fine. And I thought, I don't want to be one of those Little League dads. If I want baseball glory in my family, I've got to go out and get it myself. At age 47 or 48, working as a TV reporter in golf, and not in very good shape. But I figured, how many more chances am I going to have? So I hooked up with Jay Welsh, my friend at the Golf Channel, who is a great hitting coach and loves baseball. And he agreed to take on the assignment of getting, well, a dad ready for dad baseball in adult leagues. And in the mornings, we worked and sprinted and hit and fielded and worked and sprinted and worked some more. And the people at the Golf Channel said, oh my gosh, we should run a pool. When is he going to get injured and how long is he going to be laid up? One guy from management actually took me aside and said, really, don't get hurt. Nobody else covers your beat. We need you on the air. The dude was serious. But I figured this was my last chance to play organized baseball. And so I went for it. And what I really wanted to do was play second base. Now, I think everybody knows here, I'm not built like a second baseman. I'm built like two second basemen. I'm not the hop up and down, light on my feet kind of guy that most second basemen and shortstops have to be. First baseman? Sure. Outfielder? Well, that's eventually what happened. But I really wanted to try second base. And one day when I was on the phone with a guy in the golf industry, a contact of mine, who worked for Wilson of all people in their golf division, we got to talking about our families and what was going on, and he asked, and I told him, because I was perfectly willing to talk about baseball, 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 especially my baseball. And a couple days later in the mail, after I told him about my second base dreams, this thing shows up, which is akin to a jewelry dealer opening up a box and finding the Hope diamond inside. There was a nice note that says, good luck, get that glove on the ground. I was overwhelmed. A whole bunch of people who would pat me on the back and have a laugh thought I was essentially going to break my leg. Management thought, we're going to lose this guy and have to pay workers' comp. My wife was just on a first-name basis with the people in the emergency room. This guy believed in me. And so did all those other people, too. But they knew I was never going to be a world beater as a ball player. And they were right. I was what you would call light hit, no field. Eventually, I got to manage my own adult baseball team. And I was smart enough not to put myself at second base. First base, sure. Right field, absolutely. And I had a blast. Played for, 4 seasons? And then I hung him up. I had to grow up and be a big boy. I don't believe I ever played second base in a regulation game. But I did occasionally. Well, I always had this thing in my bag, even if I wasn't going to use it. And occasionally, during infield practice, I'd drag it out, go to the middle of the infield, and wait for someone to just rocket one right down the line at me. And I would suck into my nose the smell of the grass clippings and the dust cloud that surrounded me, and delight in the feel of the little pieces of gravel that banged into my cheeks as I got the glove down and my butt down and my head up and my hand up and wrapped up that ball and did this to the shortstop and stood out of the way as he dragged his foot over second, got it to first. Damn right the batter's out. That's 2. So whenever I look at this glove, or now in the springtime, isolation or no isolation, put it on for a catch with that former 7-year-old, it feels super duper special. There may not be a major league this year, but there's always baseball. Because it's money they have and peace they lack. They will come, Ray. They will most definitely.